Ladies and gentlemen, hope all is well. I'm going to show you how to scale to 30K per month in 5 months with the three levers of growth. Okay, so I'm going to run you through what the three levers of growth are and pretty much how to position yourself as an uncommoditized fitness coach, as somebody who's a fitness provider who is uncommoditized and actually can make more than $10,000 a month without being like this rare, special, rare Pokemon that like 10K a month is like crazy for people. And it's like, it's not super hard to hit if you have the right systems. Okay. So, pretty much my purpose is to, in this training, in this video, is to show you and tell you how I scaled to over $15,000 a week and consistent 30K months. Here's a screenshot from this month. As you can see, this is 2024 April 49. That's Canadian. So, mind you, this is a little bit different than American if you're an American viewer. This is about 32. And this is a week back in July as well. That was a 15K week. So this kind of just shows you that I've done it myself. I'm not anywhere near where I want to be, obviously. But I'm just pretty much going to run you through what I did to get here and how you can do the same as well. Okay. So I'm making this video because, to be completely honest with you, I'm looking for smart fitness brand owners. And this is not an acronym. This is like genuine. I'm looking for smart people who I can partner with, people who want to partner with me as well, and who want to scale the massive numbers online as a fitness provider. Okay, so I believe that what I'm about to share with you, this process that I'm about to run you through, is honestly the only path guaranteed to help you experience 30K per month profit as a fitness provider or coach in what has become like a crazy competitive landscape of everyone biting each other's heads off, trying to compete for like this. they're just competing over pennies pretty much. And it's just absolutely nuts. Okay. So what's everyone doing? What is like the process that everyone's following to get in this kind of conundrum of this massively competitive landscape? Okay. So this is what I call the old model. And this is what everyone's doing. So number one, everyone is they're pretty much doing one of two. So they're doing either an in-person one-to-one, so like a done for you, I call it, or they're doing some sort of do-it-yourself coaching model. I'm going to run you through both of them are. Okay. So what in-person one-to-one coaching is pretty much what you're doing is it's a model of selling time. So what you're doing is you're trading time for money. And this is very highly commoditized because whoever can sell their time for the least as with value as a constant. So, hey, you're getting the same thing for a lower price. I'm going to go with the lower price. It's the same thing. Okay. It's very highly commoditized because in one way or another, you're trading time for money. Okay, but people will say, "Oh no, I have trainers," or "Oh, I have this person," or "Oh, I'm doing a class-based model." One way or another, you're trading time for money. You can scale with this, yes, but you're gonna have to take on a lot of complexity. You're gonna have to hire contractors, which eat up more than 50% of your margins. I know some people who have contractors that are making more than them as owners. Okay, or they switch to some sort of membership class-based, which you need a lot of capital, facility space. Oh, it's just crazy. So this pretty much caps you at about 10 to 15K per month. It's very difficult to scale past this without taking on a ton of complexity. Okay. There's a lot of complexity, and our goal is to not be super complex, but actually to stay really lean. Okay. And not take on this massive form of complexity. So our only path with this first model is to stay small to make your clients happy. Okay. Or number two, the do-it-yourself coaching model, where pretty much you will sell them the secrets to reaching fitness goals in an online program, check-in coaching, stuff like that, trainerize, whatever. And pretty much the client really doesn't get results. They get mad at you, you go to business, etc. Okay, so with this, you have a very high churn rate. You have massive input needed to balance that attrition. So imagine a bucket with holes in the bottom. People are not focused on, making sure that those holes are covered up. They're just focused on pouring more water into the freaking bucket, even though water is leaking out of it. It's just backwards thinking. You need a massive audience to actually sell stuff like this. You can sell it with ads, sure. But if you look at people who've actually gotten massive success with this on a somewhat long-term basis, they've had massive audience, which takes years to build. C, a lot of competition. Everyone's now an influencer. So why would I go with you if there's, David Lade selling me a program? Okay. D, low implementation. If you look at Beachbody, which is one of the biggest fitness online software providers for like fitness programming and stuff like that, their success rate is less than 1%. Okay. So clients don't really actually take it serious. And if clients don't take it serious and clients don't get results, then what are you running? Are you just running something that gives a piece of paper? Hey, do this fitness program. They don't get any results. What's the point of even doing your business? Okay. E, many clients needed to actually, make any serious profits, right? So for example, if you're selling a $200 fitness program, 100 times in a month to make $20,000 a month, that takes on a lot of complexity to do. So, and that's not reasonable from a sales point of view or a fulfillment standpoint. So let's say I do all the sales for you and I get 100 sales for you every month. Okay. Now you have to fulfill on those 100 people. Okay. Accountability, check-ins, programming, updates. Like, how is that possible? Okay. To reach a number like $20,000 a month. So the only path here with this model, the do-it-yourself coaching model, is to spend years trying to build an audience and getting clients to sell. So you're focused on sales, sales, sales. To realize that 95% never actually get any real results. You're stuck in this rat race where, it's just kind of a waste of time. And you focus so much on sales that you forget to actually build something meaningful, take a step back, take an objective point of view, and build something that actually can make money for you without you actively putting your hand on the gas type of thing, putting your foot on the gas, not your hand. What am I saying? Awesome. Okay. So pretty much the new model. So like I said, the old model is pretty much selling a monthly recurring package or a one-time low ticket program. You're always chasing new clients. You chase, they run. It's just a bloody nightmare. Client results are bad, or you do some sort of done for you and you just trade your time for money, which is obviously not scalable without taking on complexity. And it's a lot. Okay. It's a lot to digest. Okay. So what's the new model? How do we stay lean? How do we actually, win in today's market, in today's competitive landscape? And pretty much the new model is, I call it high ticket, asset based custom accountability, and you're selling it to the top of the market. Okay. So rather than focusing on pretty much, if I zoom in a little bit more, rather than you pretty much providing something that is a commodity for a low price and getting bad results, okay, what you're doing is you're providing something that is not a commodity. You're selling it for high ticket and you're getting results. If you're selling something that's a commodity, like your time, you're selling something that everyone else is providing, you're going to have to compete on something called price, okay, which is kind of difficult. And when you compete on price, people are not going to take it that seriously. Okay. So it becomes very difficult to scale with that model. And our goal is to sell something high ticket. But what a lot of people will do is, just because if you put a high ticket price on something, or if I say, hey, this coffee cup is worth $2,000, you're going to be like, oh, cool. But what's the value from that coffee cup? Is it made of gold? What's the catch here? Okay. So our goal is to provide something that's equal or even more of value than the price we're charging for it. Okay. So the general idea is to shift from programming and judgment. So, hey, do this, whatever, trading time for money, stuff like that, to asset-based coaching and sell it for high ticket to the top of the market. So if you look at this graph right here, this is pretty much a graph of the total addressable market. And pretty much with the total addressable market, the smaller the TAM is, usually means there's people who are willing to spend more. Okay. So that's why there's only a very small amount of people who can buy a Lamborghini. Okay. If everyone could buy a Lamborghini, then it wouldn't be valuable. Okay. So what happens is, the more you charge, pretty much what happens is you're finding that select portion of the market who can actually buy that high ticket program, that high ticket process. And you're going to sell to those people rather than the entirety of the market. So I applied this model to my fitness coaching business and scaled to well over 20K per month in a competitive market, selling literally near the same solution for well over $6,000 per package up front. Okay. So as you can see right here. So if I zoom in on this, as you can see here, 6K, just sold another 6K, just sold another 6K, 6K, 6K. Was that a Facebook person? Yes, 6K, 6K, right? So $6,000 per package. If you're listening to this and you're a fitness coach and you're like, oh my God, how am I supposed to charge something $6,000 up front? How is that possible? Right now I'm charging $200 a month. Then you have to think kind of like outside of kind of what you're doing. You kind of have to let go of maybe a little bit about what you're doing, because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get the same results as what you're doing. Okay. So before, like what I was doing is I was pushing for smaller sales to the bottom of the market. I was really heavily focused on selling, 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 selling. This capped me at about 5 to 7K a month on average. Okay. So here's a screenshot back April, May. This was a while ago, but about $7,000 per month. Okay. And at the time I was like, oh, this is not bad. I can stay here. I can chill around this, but I'm selling all day. I'm working like 12 hours a day. What's the point, right? Am I going to sacrifice this 7K for something bigger? That was the question. Okay. And then now consistent 10 to 15K weeks, and I'm really only selling $6,000 pips only. So as you can see on this, on these are Stripe screenshots from my Stripe. As you can see, $6,000, 14K a week. This is back in like July, so this is an older screenshot, but we're a little bit more than this, obviously now. That was a couple months ago, but yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. Or pretty much even some of my clients who have implemented this for themselves have seen some results. I'm going to share with you some of these as well.
Roughly bringing in 50.
So this client, his name is Paul. We added about 150K per month added in lifetime value. So reminder, this is lifetime value. This is not added cash collected.
15 people a month with an average lifetime value of 15,000. Looking at anywhere from 100 to 150.
150, yeah, 150, yeah, 100 to 150,000. Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Awesome. I'm really happy.
That's a minimum. That's a minimum too. That's a minimum. Okay, I expect to get 200,000.
We're definitely going to be scaling this up.
Expecting over 200,000. I love that. Awesome. So that's a reminder. That's lifetime value. Average one of his clients will spend about 15K with them, so that's really high ticket, but awesome. Or one of my clients, Jamie, who added 30K in her first 30 days by literally making this simple repositioning switch, like I set up here, of kind of changing towards a high ticket asset-based custom accountability to the upper segment of the market. Okay, so she pretty much added 30K in her first 30 days. She collected just shy of 90K. It was like 85K or something like that. I'm going to share with you here this as well.
What do you mean?
Like I'm just calculating revenue from the 12-week challenge.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. So summer.
Awesome. So about 32.9 cash collected in 30 days. By obviously providing her package was roughly $5,000, it was just over 55, or $5,000, like $5,200, something like that, and totaled about 90K, just shy of 90K that month. Or one of my clients named Leo, who turned over 50K in 4 weeks. He added 50K on top of a $50,000 pre-existing MRR base. He got to just over 100K per month that specific month. I'm going to share with you that here as well. As you can see here, here's just some of the screenshots of the sales pipeline in terms of like bookings, in terms of like closing rates, etc. We were consistently getting on a weekly basis about I believe about 15 bookings. It was about 4 to 5 bookings a day. We ran ads, we used this process, and things just kind of exploded for him at that point. And pipeline was full, calendar was full, closing rate was roughly about 30%, 33%, 1 of 3 on average. And obviously that was a higher ticket program as well. If you're adding 50K on top of that, you're not selling a $200 a month program. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, so after going through this, what is the critical insight? What is the one thing that, or the few things that if you implement will actually allow you to succeed with this information? Okay, so number one, like I said before, we're experiencing some of the greatest levels of competition in the fitness industry, like just period. We've never seen this much competition before, especially after COVID. Now that people are moving online, it's just crazy. People are like, it's just super competitive. Okay, Instagram, you got all these social media platforms, everyone's on them, and there's so many solutions to so many different things. Prospects are much more educated and have plenty of choices to solve their problems. So for example, let's say I want to lose weight. How many options do I have? I have in-person solutions. I can go to a gym. I can buy a cheap online program. I can, go to and buy like Factor or one of those like meal plan services. I can do supplements or injectables like Ozempic. I have so many different options. So why would I go with your option? What makes you different? What makes you different from this market with hundreds of different options constantly, and there's constantly new ones always being added to the market. So why would I go with you? Okay, so this forces all fitness coaches to fight and compete for pennies, often falling into the commodity trap where we're offering the same thing, you know, same thing in a different package for a lower price. Okay, and then number two, growth is expensive and are massively time consuming. So leads are expensive or massively time consuming to generate. I'm going to say that time is expensive as well. Obviously, time is your biggest asset. Time is your biggest or most expensive commodity that you own. So if it's taking you a lot of time to generate leads, if you're doing cold DMs, if you're doing some form of cold outreach, that's expensive in time. Okay. Appointments are even more expensive with a show rate at a very low. Show rate is, a crazy big problem that everyone's dealing with right now. C, deals are harder to close as people have already bought what you're trying to sell them in another package. Okay. There's millions of options out there, just packaged differently. Okay. And this is a big insight as well. More growth does not equal more growth. I know it sounds kind of contradictory, but more growth doesn't actually equal more growth. Everyone's talking about, oh, I need more leads, I need more of this, I need more followers. But my friend, followers or likes don't equal cash. More leads do not equal cash. Okay, I'll give you an example here. When I was doing cold outbound religiously, I would book 5 to 10 meetings daily. And maybe, if I was lucky, I would close 1 to 15 people. 1 out of 15 people I would close. Okay, which is horrible. On paper, okay, most people would say that, the more appointment scenario would be ideal. Oh, you have 5 to 10 meetings a day? You must be making 100K a month. No, my friend. No. Okay. But then right now, let's say I get 10 bookings on my calendar. I'm going to close 6 of those people. Okay. My closing rate is 60%. Are the ads better? Is this better? Is it my more followers? No, my friend. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. So being just another fitness coach isn't the path to making 20 to 30K per month anymore. It's just not the way to actually scale to that point where you are able to do the things you want to do, and get out of this hamster wheel of competition, competing for, the same things that everyone else is providing in another package, and then trying to grow when growth is expensive. It's super time consuming, and trying to play this rat race, which we know just doesn't really get you cash. I knew this. Okay, just side tangent. I knew this one girl. Her name was Veronica, and before she started working with me, she was posting, like, she would spend 24 hours a week just on content. So she would spend her Thursday and Friday just creating content. That's all she would do. And she was so focused on just getting more followers. Oh, I need more likes. I need more views. I need more of this. And she was stuck at 6K a month. Okay, 6K a month. So much work. She was working so much to just hit 6K a month. And as soon as we implemented this, she scaled up to 25K a month in about 3 months' time. Okay? So more followers, more likes, more views do not equal more cash. So that is not the path to becoming, someone who makes 20 to 30K anymore. So, warning, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, I got to change up what I'm doing. Maybe I'm doing things completely wrong. Maybe this is a call that you need to change the things that you're doing, because what you're doing right now has gotten you to the point where you are right now. So if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get more of what you're already getting. Okay. So not too long, I was roughly kind of in the same scenario as you, if you're probably watching this. Like I said, I was capped at around that 5 to 7K a month, every month. And I was like, I wasn't disappointed with it, because I was kind of like, oh, that's not bad money. I'm going to take it. What is that, like 70K, 7 times 12? It's like 78, 80K a year. It's not horrible. I was able to pay my bills, left over with money. I was kind of happy. But what I was doing is it wasn't sustainable. And if I wanted to scale past that, I wasn't able to. So I'm going to give you an example, because my situation really resembled this exact scenario below. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. This is actually a quote from, I think it's from the Bible, actually. So a fellow was stuck on his rooftop in a flood. He was praying to God for help. Soon a man in a rowboat came by, and the fellow shouted to the man on the roof, "Jump in, I can save you." So look at this picture right here. The man said, "No, I'm waiting for God." So the rowboat went on. Okay, I'm praying for God, leave me alone. I'm praying for God, God's going to come and save me. Okay, then a motorboat came by and said, "Hey, jump in, I can save you." The guy said, "No, I'm waiting for God, I'm praying. God's going to save me." Then a helicopter came by, said the same thing, dropped down a rope. Hey, jump on, you're gonna drown. He said, no, I'm waiting for God. Okay. And then the helicopter reluctantly flew away. And then as soon as the water rose when he was in this flood and he drowned, he went up to God and he was like, hey, God, why did I prayed for you. Why didn't you save me? And God said, I sent 3 things. I sent a helicopter, a motorboat, and a lifeboat to come and save you. And you didn't take the signals as they were. Okay. So pretty much relating this back to me, I was getting on call after call, doing the cold outreach, and was constantly getting signal after signal to get out of the rut that I was in. I eventually took the signal as fact and escaped the rut. Thank God I did. Okay? Because I'll give you a specific scenario that like really was like an eye-opener for me. I was like, okay, I got to change what I'm doing. So I was on this call. This was a while back. And he was this elderly gentleman. And I offered him the services for $1,000. I said, hey man, charge $1,000. Okay. And he said, oh, let me think about it. And I was like, okay, let's book another call then. I'll run you through some other stuff on the next call. Okay. Jump on a second call with this guy. He said, oh, I can do the $1,000. Okay, let's do $750. Oh, let me think about it. Book another call. Jump on a third call with this guy. Okay. Hey, let's do 500. Oh, I can't do 500. Let me think about it. Book a fourth. I'm not kidding when I say that. I book a 4th call with this guy. Okay. On this call, I'm doing all the sales tactics in the book. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm doing all the tactics that you could possibly think of when it comes to sales. Okay. Get him on the call. Hey, I'll do 250. Okay. And then after all of that, after 4 meetings, he said, oh, I'm just not interested. Thanks. Bye. Leaves the meeting. Bye. Bye. Okay. So this was like this scenario right here. I was like, oh, I got to sell better. Oh, I got to just do this. I got to do that. And it wasn't that at all. Okay. So I was having a hard time getting clients to commit and actually get results. So that was a really big one as well. Even if people signed on for, let's say they took the offer and they actually started, it was hard for me to get results. B, plenty of others were offering the same services I was offering for the same price or lower. So this guy, taking this example, he was like, oh, why would I do your solution when there's a million other people who have pitched me before? I've been on 5 calls today already with fitness coaches. Okay. C, I was having a hard time finding qualifications. So like this guy, he was giving me a hard time about $1,000. Why the hell would that same character, avatar, personality pay me $5,000 to $7,000 or pay me high ticket for that? Why would that person pay me, $6,000 for a fitness package like I showed up here? Okay, $6,000. Why would he pay me for that? Okay, doesn't make sense. So I was stuck at this $7,000 a month mark, $5,000 to $7,000 a month mark. What I did is I pointed outwards. I said, oh, it's not my fault. All these people are broke. I just got to sell better. I just got to keep posting. I just got to send more cold DMs. I just got to keep doing all this stuff. And I pointed outwards. It's not my fault. It's their fault. They're all broke. Okay. And as soon as I pointed inwards, I scaled to 15K a week and consistently started pulling in 20K per month effortlessly. Okay. So this whole thing can be summarized like I showed before in such. So what I was providing was a commoditized offer with a low price. Obviously, you get bad results because they're not committed. But it all starts with who you're targeting and that offer you're providing for that specific person. Okay, this just left me in this cycle going around and around until I got the signal to escape. So what I needed clients that were willing to pay $6K up front for packages and not even bat an eye. So people were like I get people. I had this one guy this was like 3-4 days ago. He's like, hey man, I've been watching your YouTube. I've been watching your YouTube for like 4 or 5 months, something like that. And, I just want to join your program. I don't need you to kind of walk me through it. I know pretty much kind of what you do, how you do it, etc. How much is it? I said, hey, this is the price. And he's like, oh, cool. Let's do it. Just jumps on. Okay. So, what I needed to do is, so that's current situation. But in the past, I really needed to target the top of the market and people who had the money and were willing to spend the money with me. Okay. B, I needed an uncommoditized blue ocean market. Okay. So I needed something, so this should say blue ocean offer. Okay. I needed something that was uncommoditized, something that was different, and providing that to people who would actually not bat an eye about 6K. Okay. There's this quote, competition is for losers, by Peter Thiel. pretty much what he means by this is like, why are you competing? Why are you spending all your time competing, doing the same things everyone else is doing, when you can just switch arenas and go compete in another arena and win? If you're not going to win something, why are you even competing in the first place? Okay? So rather than competing in the same space as everyone else, I needed to be different and needed to offer something completely different that provided enough value to charge $6,000, handle 10 new clients monthly, and make it unreasonable for clients to not get massive success. Okay? And then on top of this, I needed a way to actually get these people. This is the biggest bottleneck that probably a lot of you guys are dealing with. I needed a way to actually acquire these people consistently. I needed a way to get people in the door where once I took my foot off the gas pedal, the people would still come. Okay. And I call this the P versus PC acquisition. So this is production versus production capabilities acquisition system. So it's a system that gets clients rather than me spamming cold outreach, not actually building anything in the meantime. The goal with cold outreach, the goal with acquisition is to build something, if it's software, if it's human resources, to actually build and create and generate a system that works without you having to actively, turn the rotors in the engine type of thing. Okay. So what I did is I shifted to this model right here. This pretty much sums it all up, where I wasn't providing some sort of commoditized service. I was charging high ticket because it wasn't a commoditized service. It was different. It was new, had a new mechanism, totally new. Okay. High ticket. People got results from it. And this kind of was an upward spiral because people, came in. Oh, you're doing something completely different. I don't mind spending $6,000. Okay. And the results I was getting from that were quite good. I had money left over after to spend money to upgrade the system overall. And now people were retained, and they weren't turning after month 3 or month 2. Okay. So after doing this, I was able to make more money than I needed and live a comfortable life and be able to do the things I wanted to do. I don't live like this crazy guru lifestyle. I'm not trying to either, but I have a decent car. I'm able to travel a little bit. This was in Miami. This was like a month ago. I went out there, met with some business partners and stuff. And this is the biggest one, able to go to restaurants and not bat an eye about the bill. This is a big one. Go spend money with friends, get food, and not be like, oh, it's $100. Right? So that's a big point for me. Okay. So how do you actually implement this in your business? What is the exact pivot that you're going to have to make if you're a fitness coach and you're watching this? If you're someone who's a fitness provider, how do you make this pivot yourself? Okay. Like I said at the start, the 3 levers of growth, which I'm going to walk you through right here. So what the 3 levers of growth are is it's a way to achieve a much larger outcome with the same amount of effort. Okay. So for the same amount of effort or even less effort, you can achieve a much larger outcome. Okay. So what this is this is just basic physics. So if you have a fulcrum and you move the fulcrum with the same amount of effort, you could lift a much larger load. Same thing applies to your business with the amount of work you're doing. So how do you implement this to actually see some sort of results, scale to 20, 30, 40K a month? So number 1, leveraging your who, what, and how. So like I said, number 1, you're finding the top of the market who's findable, has the money to spend, and which is growing. These are 3 big factors. Okay. You have to be able to find these people. These people have to have money to spend. Like I said, top of the market, and the market has to be somewhat growing. If you're targeting people who are, for example, if you're targeting people who, let's say you're providing solutions to newspaper companies, newspapers dying. Okay. So no matter how hard you try, however, how good you market, the market's not growing. Okay. Number 2, offering a what and how of equal proportion of value in exchange for a high ticket solution that you can build once, and release to a client that the client actually needs and hasn't been pitched 1,000 times before. Something different. Okay. So you have to build something. Value equals dollars. Value is another form of money. Okay. Value and money pretty much equal each other. So if you're selling something for $6,000, you have to give something for $6,000 in equal proportion. Okay. And that's now what becomes the bottleneck. Okay. And then number 3, this is just kind of a side. I should probably highlight this in orange, but leveraging community against AI. So over the next few years, even the next 6 months to even 1 year from now, AI is going to be ravaging through the B2B space, through the coaching space, through the marketing space. It's going to be tearing up a lot of businesses and putting a lot of people out of business. Okay. So the only way to leverage yourself against that is to have some sort of human element, which I believe is community. So if you combine these three, that's going to allow you to leverage the first of the three levers. Okay. The second lever is leveraging client getting processes. So like I said, production versus production capabilities. Rather than spending time and money on generating alone, cold DMs, more posts, more ads, we're focusing on evolving a system as a whole. Okay. That system doesn't need to evolve with us, holding its hand through the entire process. It's able to evolve by itself. So for example, when I was doing cold outbound, if I stopped, I wouldn't produce, and all I would be left with was the potential clients I generated. I wouldn't have an asset generating long term. For example, if you look at my YouTube channel, these videos stay up. People watch them 6 months later. I've had videos where people will go on my YouTube and watch a video that's 6 months old and be like, hey, this video was awesome. Can I work with you? Sure, let's do it. Okay. So that's two different scenarios, cold DM versus something that I'm building long term that generates for me. So this is a little meme. Let me zoom in a little bit, that Elon Musk posted on his Twitter, which I thought illustrated this point beautifully. Okay. I'm going to read it to you. I shall defeat you, evil dragon, and steal your hoard of wealth. Okay. Finally, the beast is slain. The gold shall be mine. What? What the hell is this? Where is the treasure hoard? And he said, that is a thresher. It separates the wheat from the chaff automatically without much manual labor. The wealth of nation lies not in gold or coins, but in their productive capacity. You see, even with all the gold in the world, you can't produce more. All it will do is cause gold to be less valuable. What you need are machines to free up labor so you can create more with less. He said, I also have an automated cotton loom if you are interested. This sucks. I can't go back to the princess with this nerd shit. Goddamn nerd dragon. Okay? But this illustrates exactly what most people are doing. Most people are the knights. Oh, I don't want the system. Oh my God, I want to just produce. Cold DM, rather than building that system, building this, I forget the name, cotton loom, whatever, so that it actually produces for you long term and actually, produces for you long term, like I said. Okay. And what you're going to be doing with this in terms of some sort of generating client getting process, client getting asset, your goal with this is to generate attention, number one, own that attention, and then also educate that attention. So whatever median you can do that through the best is the median that you need to go through. Okay. And then number three, this is the biggest, this is probably one of the most important as well. I would say actually the most important. People don't do this at all, is tracking and feedback. Oh, I don't need tracking. Oh my God, I'll just post photos all day of myself shirtless. Like, cool. Okay. It's not going to work. You need some sort of tracking and feedback. So I've talked about this many times before on my YouTube, but if tracking and feedback on your systems are lacking, you will not be able to scale as efficiently. You acquire new insights via feedback on your mistakes and wins. These insights evolve the system as a whole. The rate at which you acquire new insights equals the rate of growth. Okay. So if you're constantly, seeing, oh my God, this really didn't work. Oh my God, this really did work. And comparing and contrasting and gathering data, gathering feedback, you're able to provide and get a new insight out of that feedback that is individualized to you. You are the only person who probably has that individual feedback because you got it yourself. Okay. So this is a little illustration right here. If let's say, you're trying to generate insights, you're limited by your feedback. If your feedback's limited and your data collection is limited, you're going to limit the amount of new insights you can get, which limits the amount of money that you're going to make, because how are you going to know this stuff? How to, offering how of equal proportion, how do you know, what the top of the market is? There's millions of top of the market, things that you can offer. Like, how do you know that? You know that through feedback. Okay. And the rate at which you acquire new insights. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of this. So what we do is, in pretty much with my company, is pretty much what we do is we pick a offer niche, and then pretty much what we're doing is we're generating, owning, educating, converting, and then providing some sort of feedback to that. So what we do is we pretty much solve this entire solution and do this all in one kind of stop type of thing. Okay. Just to come back to the document. Okay. In that entire process right there. And then what we actually do on top of that is implement it. So the messaging, the lead gen infrastructure. So generating leads, owning the attention from those leads, and then educating those leads. Okay. You don't want people who just aren't educated. You want people who are just coming in, oh, I don't know anything about you. Like that example I gave with that guy who I dropped the price so much for. He didn't know much about what I did. He wasn't educated. He wasn't sold before the call. So the sale happens a lot before the call. And then obviously on top of that, how to onboard, how to fulfill, and then obviously how to retain and ascend clients to, make more money, because you're going to be able to sell and resell your clients a lot more and more efficiently than you're going to be able to, sell new clients. It's a lot easier of a sale. Okay. So for example, what Jim Launch did, this is Alex Ramose's company, is he pretty much, in terms of that value discrepancy, he was doing the entire thing. He was solving this, the client acquisition, so generating that long-term P versus production capabilities. He was generating that cotton loom for his clients, and then he was doing all the feedback for them. He was providing all of this for a one-time price of $16,000. Okay, so he was doing this, and he was able to scale this to multiple millions of dollars a month. Okay, so this is I'm not the first person to do this. There's a lot of smart people before who've done this, and I've gotten great success with it. Okay, so like I showed you right here, what we do in our company is we pretty much help with this entire process. So I do this. I did this exact process of, refining your offer, refining the top of the market, refining your image, how to actually generate attention, and then how to get these people converted, not book a call, but actually like educated. Oh my God, I'm interested. I'm like actively like thinking about this when I go to bed. Okay. And then people who jump on a call and just like, collect cash type of thing. And then obviously on top of that, feedback so that the system can get better as a whole. And then implementing the entire thing fully done for you. And then onboarding, fulfillment, how to actually get people results without some Beachbody on demand type results, which just are horrible. Okay. So what is my offer to you? If you've made it to the end of this video, what is my offer to you? So this is my $30,000 a month offer. I'm opening up my doors to personally take on a few more serious business owners who are looking to aggressively scale. So my mission is to partner with the following personality types. I don't care if you've made $0 in the past. I don't care if you're like, oh my God, I've made $0 in the past 6 months. I honestly couldn't care. Okay. I don't care if you've made $100,000 a month over the past 6 months. Okay. I honestly don't care. I don't care about your goals. I don't care about where you were. All I care really is about your personality. Okay. And where you are right now. So this is kind of my outlook, because I've worked with a lot of people who have made a lot of money and they don't have the right personality type in terms of what I'm going to run you through right here to actually get to that goal. So I want smart founders who understand business is a forever game. So it's never a one-stop shop of, I'm just going to do this one little thing and I'm going to get to 100K a month. Business is a forever game, and you have to be playing with the end in mind. You have to constantly be willing to put in the work and be disciplined with it. Okay, be willing to execute and do the work. A lot of people are just like, is this going to save me time? I want to go to the beach. Okay, you have to be willing to do the work. Okay, and C, this is a big one. You have to be able to ask questions rather than making statements. This is one of my best friends, he's my best friend. His name's Paul, and pretty much when I was first starting my business, he was in the same space as me. And before I started, I went to him and I was like, hey dude, I know nothing about this. Can I ask you a bunch of questions? And he's like, sure, ask away. Okay. And I gathered so much insight just by asking, rather than being like this ego driven person who is stuck to my ego. Okay. So that's an example of people who ask questions rather than trying to make statements. Okay. If you knew everything, you would be at 100K, you'd be at $1 million a month. You'd be the richest person alive. Okay. So if you're tired of playing it small, constantly working harder to only stay in the same space month after month and be treated as a commodity, here is my offer to you. I will implement my entire process of actually generating attention, okay, owning attention, converting attention, and actually doing that for the right market with the right offer to charge high ticket for that. Okay, so what I do is I put together everything. This is just, let me zoom out a little bit. pretty much what I do is I offer the entire thing done for you. So I pretty much come into your business and I partner and do this completely done for you. So I help you with the entire process of putting together everything you're going to need to actually sell and scale these high ticket fitness packages. Okay. So this is offerings, nurturing, generating and educating assets, your backend systems of actually how to nurture, how to get people to show up, how to get people who are interested. So you hop on a call and you easily close people. Like I gave you that example of the guy who just recently came from my YouTube. Okay. Fulfillment and client ascension. How do you get 30% of your revenue, right? 30% of your revenue should be coming from your past or current clients. Okay. Not from new clients. And then obviously this is just like a very condensed version of everything. But stacking out your calendar to receive 3 to 7 calls per day of people who are just like actively, yep, let's join, let's do this. Here's my credit card. Okay. And then assembling everything together to scale everything you're going to need in terms of how to actually put together your product, how to, find product market fit in terms of like your offer, who is the top of the market you're going to solve for, your specific niche, your mechanism that you're going to provide that niche to. How do you actually go about finding and having some sort of sales process in terms of like generating attention, etc. What's the most effective way to do that? And everything I do fully with you, done for you. Okay. So if you're a fitness professional and would like to add 30K per month consistently, go down, click the link, book a time to speak. Only book a time to speak if you meet the personality requirements above. I'm very strict about not working with founders who don't have a base personality position for growth. Growth is a mindset. You choose to grow. I don't choose to grow for you. You should want this more than I should. Okay. If you went through this and you're still listening to me right now and you're like, this is something that I genuinely think can help me get to the next level, I have a link somewhere below. Book a call and I will run you through the system in a deeper level and show you the process on a more personal level. You can probably meet myself if I jump on the call. I jump on a few of them. And then, yeah, thanks for watching.